Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. But hey, we don't hear anything, Derek.
That was good, Matt. That was really good.
We don't have any. We don't hear any sound, Derek. We can hear your
Oh,
voice,
that was
but we're
awesome.
not
Are we
hearing that.
live right now?
Yeah,
Because
we're
I
live.
would just roll with this.
Yeah, we're live.
That was hilarious.
What happened?
There's no music.
We're not getting any audio. So
Yeah.
Matt basically wrapped our opening.
Yeah.
Perfect. I have audio in my headphones.
God, we're off to a great start.
Well, it's the Sunday morning edition, so
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's
We're-
sweet. Welcome. Another episode of Talking Bush.
Just a dumpster fire already. Good God.
There is no
Hold on, I
dumpster
gotta
fire like
transition.
the
We're
true
still on
original
there. There we
dumpster
go.
fire.
True.
So good morning, everybody. Boys, how we doing?
Hey, pretty good.
Real well. How you
Good.
doing, Dan?
Not so bad in you. Did Matt? Did you tweet out so people know that we're actually doing this?
I did
Because
it
we
on-
had some pretty pissed off people.
Yeah, I
They were
put it-
kind of sad.
I put a notice on Slack, but I'll get the link over to Slack right now.
Guys, guess who I saw last weekend? And spoiler, it's not Tim Lang.
That was gonna be my guess.
Nope.
Ooh,
Stopped and saw Trevor Sapir last Sunday.
Oh,
no kidding, eh?
He's still
Yeah.
around, huh? Old TS.
Yeah. Old TS, yeah, we were coming back from Iowa, and Harper was getting kind of pissy. So I called Trevor. Well, actually, I made arrangements for that because I knew that about the time we were going to be coming through Owatonna, Harper was going to get kind of ornery. So called Trevor. We had supper with him, visited with him a little bit. Emerson and Ellery played with Harper. Easton was outside. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of brought back childhood memories because for the longest time I was the only boy in my family, and Easton is the only boy in his. So he was outside with his football and his Patty Mahomes jersey, and he was doing the old drop back to pass, throw the ball up in the air, run underneath it, and catch it.
Nice.
And then he was doing it by himself, and I started laughing because I told Trevor I used to do that. Then I go, Trevor, do you want a game changer for wintertime? He's like, what's that? I go, when you blow your snow and clean your driveway out, make the mounds, really high,
Mhm.
and then tell Easton that that's his offensive lineman. So have him snap it to himself, hand off, and then use the mounds as his lineman and jump
Yeah.
over it like Walter Payton
Yeah.
for the touchdown. He's like,
That's right.
oh man, that's intense.
Oh.
I'm like, I used to do it all the time.
Simpler times, man.
Yep.
When you had to actually go outside and play.
Didn't need
So,
very
but-
much.
No, and just think about that. You got your snow pants on, your 10-pound sorrel boots or whatever Carhartts, and then you had your starter jacket, right? So you're just this big puff.
Yeah.
What starter jackets did you guys have?
I was rocking the Gophers.
I had Chicago Bulls.
I was a 49ers.
I had a Chicago Bulls and a Denver Broncos.
Nice.
Oh, 2 jackets. Jeez.
So good for me.
You outgrew one?
Yeah.
Must be
the
nice.
Bulls was a pullover, of course.
Yep.
I think I for sure wore my 49ers one in middle school, and then I think I had a Vikings one until the letter jacket, till I was cool enough to get a letter jacket.
So senior year.
Yeah. Junior year, dick.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Not everybody got to see the basketball floor like you because the basketball team sucks so bad.
Okay, come on, man. You're from New London. The only thing that we do well is basketball.
Not boys. Yeah, we absolutely
pretty
kicked
good.
ass in girls.
Not that
Well,
Denver I had anything to do with our senior class, but
I got letters in baseball
No.
early, John. Come on. They were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you want to talk about baseball? That's a different story.
Yeah. Old
All right,
baseball.
nobody cares.
All right.
Moving on.
Let's get into it, huh, boys? Sunday.
Gophers total domination against Rutgers this weekend, following a total domination in Nebraska. The defense is lights out. Hopefully the Kamar Martin injury isn't serious. They would really miss him, but man, are they playing well. I was pretty sure that Rutgers was not going to get a first down after the first two possessions. Their
They
quarterback. Oof.
1 rushing yard and 28 passing yards in the first half. Are you kidding me?
It was actually 1 passing yard.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
opposite
yeah.
that stat.
Yeah, after they had 1 passing yard last week total.
Yes. Fucking,
Not
they were
good.
terrible. Thoughts on the long sleeve jerseys?
What's that?
Thoughts on their long sleeve jerseys?
Not a fan.
Yeah.
I get what they're trying to do, but
Yep.
not a fan.
Just they all looked like big athletic, like just long sleeve T-shirts that
Right.
just had bigger pads.
Right.
Yep. Number 20 in the nation coming in this week. A few teams above them lose. I got to think they move up a few slots here. Man, they win against Maryland, and you're looking at maybe 2 top 15 teams going at it at the bank.
Who would have thought?
It feels like that's what, I mean, especially after the win last week. It feels like that's where the focus shifted. But despite the fact that you've got a big month coming up, it's good to see him go out and take care of business.
Yep, this is the difference, I think, between this coaching regime and maybe the last or the one before that. We went in there, and there was no disregard the last 2 weeks to score points. We get a lead, and we didn't shut down. We just went out there and kept whooping ass, and that's what this team does. Defense is still playing strong into the fourth quarters. Gotta love to see it.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a difference in PJ, even from, say, the beginning of this year, where they were very, very vanilla and conservative. And, I mean, even in the fourth quarter this week, throwing to Tyler Johnson across the middle for a touchdown when, honestly, the backups probably could have been in.
Mm-hmm. You look at maybe the shift was that Purdue game where we did kind of fall back into, we got the lead, we kind of fell into that vanilla shell both on offense and defense, and you open up the door and then anything can happen. So I like putting the pedal to the metal and let's score some points. Let's continue this, and we got a big one 2:30 at the bank this coming Saturday against Maryland. Our good friend Joe Kaufman, friend of the program, probably watching. He's hosting the tailgate this week, so I know it's a taco bar and some of all the fixins. So come on down. It's great for charity. Free will donation. Uda Pills providing the beverages, and everybody should come down if they can make it.
Right
Tickets
on.
are available to the game still.
I'm sure they are. They might not be available come Penn State week if they win again.
No.
Penn State, they have such a horseshoe up their ass. I just makes me sick.
John, you bitter from last week?
I am, and Michigan had it. Michigan could have tied the game.
Yeah, they could have tied. They still didn't have the game.
There was a minute and a half left.
Yeah.
They would have plenty of
Penn State
time.
would have got the ball back.
I just think that Penn State is good, but I think they're very beatable. So I think they're gonna have, because they really think about it. Michigan's offense isn't anything to brag about. Iowa's offense is. We'll talk about that later, but I think they're gonna be in for a rude awakening with this RPO quick slant offense. I think, and they're gonna get a large dose of Rodney Smith and Shannon Brooks and Ibrahim. I think this is gonna be a good one. Circle this one on your calendars, boys.
Yep, just gotta get through this week. I don't know if you guys.
I know I'm looking too far ahead, but
Have to pay homage to Superfan Trav weighing in. Arizona Coyotes starter jacket.
really,
Arizona
All right.
Coyotes.
Arizona,
Trav weighing
yeah.
in.
wow. By the way, Trav, tell Bella congratulations. That's Travis's daughter. She was out in the deer stand this morning, smoked a nice looking buck 53 yards out with a 20 gauge, one shot, dropped it. So
Hey.
Wow.
nice job, Bella.
More
Very
deer than
nice.
Train's ever shot in his life.
I'm up by at least one deer. At least
Boom.
one.
Don't know if you guys saw, or maybe you did if you were watching the game because it was hard to miss. Casey O'Brien, 4-time cancer survivor, gets
Nice.
in for first college football action. He is the backup holder.
The backup holder.
Okay.
Oh, really splitting
actually-
hairs here.
Actually had a really in his second attempt that snap was horseshit.
Yeah, he picked that one off the ground. That was nice. Proud of him. Proud of PJ for getting him in. Sounded like it was maybe planned that if they got up, he would be going in. But love it, and I love that they kept him in the game and it wasn't just a one-off. So
what other position does Casey play besides obviously holder? Anything else?
Basically played wide receiver.
and
Okay.
quarterback.
Okay. So he can do other things
I don't
potentially.
think so.
He can't
Oh.
do anything other than
Can't do
hold
anything.
football.
Okay. Just asking for a friend because I don't know the whole story, but I do know he's a 4-time cancer survivor, which is the biggest story of it all. So
Yeah, huge. I think you probably see all over ESPN, Twitter today. It was all over BTN Twitter yesterday and Gopher Twitter. Kind of the embrace that him and PJ held for about 30 seconds.
yeah.
Some things are bigger than sports. Gets pretty dry, especially in my apartment.
I thought it was crazy that PJ stuck Vaseline in his eye so he could start crying on the spot. That's a good wrestling move. That's like an old
Yeah.
school like put the camera on me, boys. I'm gonna just dab this Vaseline, get some tears, make it look
Brandon's just
legit.
nodding up and down.
No, he didn't. Dave didn't like that one. No, he didn't like his big fan.
Hit you in the mouth if you want me to.
Anyway, sorry. I had to take my one jab.
Iowa bounced back this week, John.
They did.
26-20 victory over Purdue.
Yeah.
Their offense is incredibly uninspiring.
Vanilla, and it comes down to one guy, and he's been the starter for 3 years, and it just sucks. And this is a question for you guys. You guys are football minds, right?
I like to think so.
Yeah. So when something like that happens, why do we not, in general? So let's say Tanner Morgan was having a bad game and Zach Annexted was healthy. Would you pull Tanner Morgan for Zach Annexted to change it up, maybe get a little spark?
We did that to start all 4 of the first games last year.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is it just drives me crazy. You're playing a depleted Purdue team. 2 best players are out. They get down in the red zone, they stall, they get 3 field goals, and next thing you know, it's 9-7. And the last two weeks before that, they could barely put up any points. If they score 1 touchdown, they tie Michigan. They could potentially beat them at the Big House. Same thing with Penn State. I'm just wondering why there's some teams, some coaches just stick with what they got and they don't just change. It doesn't mean Nate Stanley's not the starter going forward, but my God, it's just so painful to watch. And if he can't get anything done, then that running game, which is what Iowa does, run the football. It's no secret. Line up in the I formation, run the football. But if he can't make some throws consistently down the field and get this offense going, they just put 8 in the box. And they stop Sargent and Goodson and
That's what Jen said, by the way. Put 8 in the box.
Shoot 8 in the box every time. Boom. Anyway, it's obviously not a secret. The last 3 teams have figured it out. So it's just frustrating. It's just very frustrating because that defense is playing magnificent right now. Their offense is what's slowing them down, and I don't even know who they play next week. But if they don't figure this out by the time we go to Iowa, that pig is coming home to Minnesota because Minnesota is just no, it's not. No, it's not. We'll see what Kinnick Magic, baby. Kinnick Magic. It's a thing. Ask Michigan.
We got a cancer kid now. Sorry. Trump's the Kinnick. Trump's the Kinnick wave.
Well, he'll probably have to go get a checkup at the Children's Hospital next door while we do the wave in the first quarter.
We have our own.
So, anyway, it's just frustrating. I'm glad they got the win yesterday, but they need to figure something out. Otherwise, they're We're gonna be the Gophers. We're gonna be going to the Quick Lube Bowl in Detroit. Sad, super sad.
Iowa plays Northwestern, so they can get better quick.
Well, that's another team we always have trouble with. Is Pat Fitzgerald just always seems to get those guys jacked up to play Iowa. It's not going to be easy.
The Gophers have the same issue, but Northwestern's not good this year.
No.
Are they? I haven't seen any of their stuff. So.
I think they're 1-5.
Yeah.
Oh. So they might barely lose to Nebraska. That's how good they are.
Exactly.
Yes.
Nebraska.
Actually, I think, yeah. Then Wisconsin has the bye week, same as Gophers, and then they take on Wisconsin at Wisconsin.
But Wisconsin's going to be coming off on. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of those drunken Scotties, did you guys catch the end of that game?
Fuck.
Yep.
That was sweet, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about.
I flipped it on because I was watching Florida, South Carolina. Flipped it over. Illinois picks off Cone, and basically all they have to do is drive 20, 30 yards, kick a chip shot field goal, and it was history.
Correct. There's a good football.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. I was just gonna say at I think right before halftime, they threw a bomb to Illinois. They tied it up and it got called back because there's an ineligible man downfield. So it was 14-14 for about 5 seconds. Yeah. So go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No, here's your real question. You're Wisconsin. It's 3rd and 5. You're up at the time. Run the fucking football, and you're probably going to get a first down. That's how good you guys have been running the ball, and you have Jonathan Taylor. Like, why make that pass, and why make that stupid pass? There was fucking 4 defenders over there in that zone. Silly play, college kid making a mistake, but geez. That single-handedly, that pass wrecked their college football playoff hopes. Now they got to go into fucking Ohio State this next week, or have Ohio State come to Madison. I can't remember what it is, but they're fucked.
They're going to Ohio State.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. And they got to come here, right?
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucked. If they win here, gross.
The defense is, the Gophers' defense is going to have to stop that run game.
We schemed against it last year, though.
They can. I think they can, as long as Winfield stays healthy. He's the X factor, man. That kid is good.
He is really good. Yep.
Sign him up. Draft him right out. Vikings, get him. Let go of Rhodes. Get Winfield. Put him in the slot. He was on the outside with Mack. Trey Waynes. Let's go.
Well, we can break down that game. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Dave, I heard you went to a football game yourself yesterday. You want to tell us about it?
Yep. I had the opportunity to go to Tommy Johnny at Allianz Field yesterday. Here over 19,000 in attendance for the game. St. Thomas student section was not able to fill up the Wonder Wall. Just take note of that. However, on the field, that stadium was great for college football. It was the right size for this rivalry, which sadly is coming to an end next year. I sat up in the bank suite. Oh, good for me.
Oh, good for you.
Went to a private hosted tailgate beforehand and had as many summits as I wanted.
Oh, good for
you. Hobnobbed with the right people. But, really great time. St. John's obviously pulled out the victory, as you guys saw all over Twitter, the news last night. St. Thomas, that kind of gives them their second loss of the season, so they can't win the MIAC, and they're not going to make the college football playoff in Division III, which is just great for all the right reasons. We can move forward. Key takeaway, that grass is ripped to shit, so when the United lose tonight, they're going to blame American football.
It's not who you know, it's who you blow, right, Dave?
Yep. Offered free tickets to a suite. Had the opportunity to give my 10th row tickets on the 50-yard line, which were mine.
Oh, good for you.
Away, and just kept them for myself as well.
Just living the dream.
No, they
Slaying,
didn't sing Wonderwall at the end of the game, which was a bummer.
Mm. It'd be nice if we got a text message or email from a Tommy alumni, to give their side of the game. Be cool if we could get some insight from what they saw. Just saying, if any one of them are listening, or one of them's the cousin of the host of the show that could text or call, just throwing that out there.
Last college football note, Chuba Hubbard is a running back for Oklahoma State. He is having a banner season. 1,094 yards rushing through 6 games. I thought that was a crazy number, so I looked it up. Since 2000, it has been done 14 times.
Do you want to play a game?
Yes. Love games.
You guys can all try to chime in, but any guesses at some of those names?
1,000 yards rushing in 6 games.
Yep, since the year 2000.
Saquon
Marshawn
Barkley.
Lynch.
Lynch, no. What was your guess, Train?
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon, no.
LT,
Did Lynch have
LaDainian Tomlinson.
LT had the 5th most,
Okay.
1,093. Good job, John.
Thank you. How about Kool-Aid, Lawrence Maroney?
No.
No.
I was hoping that a gopher would be on that list, and I scrolled
That
down
would have been-
because
Yeah.
they ran
it
the
would've-
crap out of the ball under Mason, especially in those non-conference games.
Yeah.
No, there was no gopher in the top 20.
Okay. How about Run DMC, Darren McFadden?
No, and I was thinking him too. He had another first-round running back on his team.
Oh, the Cowboys kid.
Yep, Felix
Wow.
Jones, and then they also had Peyton Hillis.
That's right.
So they were packed and stacked at the running back position.
All right, I got a national championship game. Both the running backs in it. 2002 national championship. It's got to be one or the other. Willis McGahee or Maurice Claret.
Neither one, but great guesses and great names.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'll give you some hints. The number one.
Can I do one more?
yeah,
I want
go
one
ahead.
more. One more shot. Larry Johnson.
No.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Let's give me
all
hints.
great names and
Yeah.
guesses that I definitely would have thought about. Number one, most yards in 6 games, 1,343 yards. He played at Northern Illinois in 2006.
Oh.
Jesus, it sounds like we're getting on here. Oh yeah. Get it. All right. Northern Illinois. Played with Jake Nordine. He's an Atwater kid. Big sumbitch.
Played with the Lions for a little bit.
Garrett Wolf.
Serious, yeah.
The second most, 1,240 yards, just happened last year.
Oh. School.
Stanford.
Bryce Love.
Correct. There's also a fantasy player that did it in 2017 that you'd probably be familiar with. He was at San Diego State.
Yeah.
Currently a backup for the Seattle Seahawks.
Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
Correct. LT was 5th. Running back, Memphis Tigers, 2005.
Memphis Tigers, 2005.
D'Angelo Williams.
Correct.
Oh yeah, nice job, Matt.
Number 7, first-round draft pick for the Indianapolis Colts. He did his in 2008.
Oh, I had this one written down. Mike Hart.
No.
No, damn it. 2008.
He would have been Adrian James' replacement.
What's his name? That huge.
Joseph Adai?
No.
No.
Or maybe he was actually. You might be right on that. I think they actually drafted running backs back to back. Adai and then Donald Brown.
Donald Brown did it?
Who?
Wow.
Son of a bitch.
That one I would have never. Yeah, that was one I'd never guess. Who was his school?
I don't have it. I don't have that one written down. I think he might have been Syracuse.
Okay.
I also have no idea where this guy went to college. Maybe you can fill me in. But he is a starting running back in the NFL. He did it in 2014. He plays for San Francisco.
Moser?
No.
Breida.
No.
Tevin Coleman.
Correct.
Indiana.
Oh, yes. They had two good running backs.
Yeah, they did. They had a lot of potential back then.
Wisconsin has a running back on this list.
Ron Dane.
Nope.
Mel Gordon.
Yes. Last one that's noteworthy. LSU, and he did it in 5 games because he got injured and didn't play the rest.
LSU.
2015.
Fournette.
Correct. That dude was just a beast in college.
Yeah.
So, I didn't cheat, but I went through the Heisman list since 2000. So here's a couple of names I wrote down. So I didn't look up. I just went by where they finished in the Heisman. So I was kind of like, well, they obviously had to have had good years. Here's a couple of names I didn't mention. Adrian Peterson. Chris Perry, Michigan. He finished 3rd that year.
He had a really good year.
Steve Slayton, West Virginia. Yeah. Derrick Henry had a really good year.
Yeah, he did. He had a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah. Mark Ingram, obviously, when he won the Heisman.
Yeah. He was
And
really
then, I did have Maroney. Funny thing is, I had to do a little fact check. I had Ron Dane, Edrin James, and Ricky Williams written down until I realized that they were 98 and 99. Yeah. So.
Yep.
But Ron Dane, man, I think he's probably on that list, but it was probably.
I just went back to 2000. If I would have done 20 years and said, there's a good chance he was on there.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Oh, hey, before we go, just a second, I got one of those Tommy alumni. He's firing back. Here he comes.
You didn't know?
I just love Dave's face. And I have my he text messaged me. So I have my text message screen up, but I'm watching Dave as I'm reading this. So this is going to be hilarious. This comes from Phil in Winston-Salem. Phil writes, our best running back, Parks, could not be stopped. Inexcusable he didn't get more carries. He writes they, but I think he meant I don't know what he's trying to say. In 3 quarters, he had 2 touchdowns and 130 yards on only 10 carries! ! Do not know why any other running back was getting carries. Also, St. Thomas's defense looked very D3-like through 3 quarters. Dave?
We spotted him 14 points to start the game. And then we scored 38 unanswered.
Oh.
What the fuck? I actually was sitting in the suite with St. Thomas's all-time leading receiver.
Oh, good for you!
Just keeps dropping
He kept saying
There's
that.
a ding.
Yeah, get the bell.
Yeah.
Right? He said that Glenn's a great coach, but Gary Fashing is way better. So you get an all-time leading receiver for St. Thomas saying that our coach is a better coach than theirs. Obviously, you're not going to win the game. Fucking turnovers. That's how this game goes, and that's what St. Thomas did. I don't care if this one running back's running his ass off. Great. I would have ran him more.
We had that with Adrian Peterson. We'd
Way to go.
run his balls off, and it still wouldn't matter.
Oh, 3rd and long. Oh, you throwing a shitty pass again? Oh, too bad.
Hey, fun fact.
That's terrible.
Fun fact before we get to Viking. Or go ahead, Dave.
No, I'm done.
Record in first 13 starts with 49ers. Jimmy G 11-2, Steve Young 8-5, Joe Montana 5-8. Is Jimmy G the best 49ers quarterback of all time?
No.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, still too early to tell.
I love it when they throw stats like that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, we have the second coming of Young and Montana. Oh God. Just ridiculous. All right, let's do this.
Great win last week. Pretty much dominated that game. Cousins to Diggs was unstoppable, and if it wasn't for Diggs slowing down a little bit on one route, it could have been 4.
Yeah.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
So satisfying. Fuck Philadelphia. Oh.
Yep, felt great. What do you guys think is coming this week?
I think it's going to be a grounded out game. I think we're going to win. I think that we're going to maybe see some flashes of Shitty Kirk throughout the game, too, because I think he's going to get a little overrun.
He did struggle a little bit last year in Detroit when Detroit really had nothing to play for. It's a tough place to play, and Detroit's a tough guy town. Or no, that was Chicago. It's a tough guy town. I just really hope the referees keep the fucking cloth in their pockets and don't get stupid just because of what happened on Monday. If that's what it comes down to, I'm gonna go outside and work in my garage because it's just not gonna be worth it. It's not worth being that mad over because some jackass can't make the right call in a football game. Let them fucking play. Not that hard.
I was hoping you were gonna do a live stream, a watch along with John.
No, 'cause that would not be good. That would not be good. I'm seeing a therapist. I'm seeing the Dalai Lama about it, Dave. Trying to get better.
Okay.
What does Vince Vaughn say? Tell that to the Dalai Lama, jackass.
Strain, what do you think happens today?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as explosive playing in Detroit. Detroit's defense isn't very highly ranked, but they kept a lid on Chiefs offense that granted was down some players, but they've done a good job just kind of hanging around with some good teams so far. So I like the Vikings in the game. I think they're by far the better team playing on the road. As long as I think Dave's right. I think the grinded out mentality will get you the win here. You don't have to do a ton, and I am a little bit nervous. You might see bad Kirk. So hopefully it doesn't come down to that. But
great quote I heard Great quote I heard yesterday from Robert Smith. I think he was calling the Texas Tech. Can't remember who they were playing. Dave, you know what I'm talking about, right? No, you were at the game. Sorry. He was calling the Texas Tech game, and the Vikings need to keep this in mind. You never go broke taking a profit, meaning you got to take what the Lions give you, and if that's just a dump off to Cook, so he can get 3 or 4 yards, and you just keep taking that all game long, you will win this football game.
Yeah. I have very little confidence that trust in Matt Stafford to go out and have a big game against this defense. So it feels like if he can just kind of.
Says the guy who's been sucking Matt Stafford's dick for the last 10 years in fantasy.
Well, that was 10 years ago. That was when he had Calvin Johnson.
No, you had him as much as 2 years ago.
Yeah, how come you didn't pick him up? He was available yesterday. I'm really shocked by that.
I've moved on to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is my guy now. I'm done with
that. That is true. He has been all over Russell Wilson.
You have been slobbing on that knob worse than Sierra.
Well, more than Sierra.
Yeah.
Not half of it.
2 years ago when this started, it was definitely more.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to lie. As much as Sam Ponder hates the Vikings, she's wearing a skirt today that if the old missus walked by me right now, I'd be shutting this computer and we'd be calling it a day. If you know what I'm saying, boys. She is a good-looking lady.
She
Yep.
is that.
Yep.
I know
She's
super
She's
guarantee.
about Jen's height.
Yeah, just saying. And I guarantee Superfan Trav Flanagan has Googled her image, and he is probably walking towards his bathroom right as we speak.
Hartman weighing in on St. Thomas to the chat. St. Thomas was ranked number 11. I'm pretty sure they'll make the 32-team field for the D3 playoffs. I hope you enjoy your suite full of Tommies, Dave. Sucks that this rivalry is coming to an end.
2 losses does not get you into the playoffs, even if you're in the top 20.
I was hoping for a little more trash talk from Adam in Rochester. I'm kind of disappointed.
It's hard to trash talk when you get your ass kicked.
But, like, they've dominated the series for how many games, Dave?
Ooh,
The Tommies. The last couple years.
it's actually a lot closer than you think.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah. It's
They-
pretty
they-
even.
They've been a really good football team, but this game gives them struggles because they get too excited,
Yeah,
give the turnovers or miss field goals.
sure.
So
I'm just saying, like, the Tommies have been good, so I wouldn't be too downtrodden. Like, obviously, if, and this is a big if, Iowa loses in a couple weeks, I'm still going to talk shit after the game. You guys are going to be finally celebrating for the first time in how many freaking years since Max Williams had the game of his life, got drafted second round because of it. Well,
At that point, we could
the
be
Buffalo
10-0.
Wild Wings Bowl, he crushed it too. He did have a good game, but
he hurdled
Yeah.
a guy.
he hurdled a guy.
That's what he
So
Mm-hmm. That was
Uh,
Military Appreciation Day. We were more excited about that than whooping y'all's ass.
yeah,
did. Those helmets
yeah.
were sick.
Is that what it was? Yeah. But hey,
Big trade in the NFL this week. Rams sending 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey. I think it's a good deal for the Rams. Would you say that's
Busch Light.
or?
Busch League.
I think it's a good deal because, well, you're just trading one a-hole for another. Because I read through the grapevine that not Talib Peters is kind of a prick, but I would probably say that Jalen Ramsey can come off as a prick as well, considering his little interview trash talking every quarterback in the NFL. You could take that as swag, or you could take that as being a prick, depending on your perspective.
I thought it was hilarious. I also think it's hilarious that he's going to the Rams where Blake Bortles is the backup quarterback.
I know. I saw this on ESPN. So in 3 years, the Jaguars drafted Bortles, Dante Fowler, and Jalen Ramsey. Guess where they all play now?
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles, baby.
Jags 2.0. Love it.
I did find this funny, though. Deion Sanders came on NFL Network because he's close with Ramsey, and he threw out that he doesn't think Jalen's going to resign there because Jalen's a businessman, and taxes are way too high in California compared to Florida and Texas. So
Don't
You're
hate
gonna
it.
see those paychecks running in and realizing that half of it's gone.
yeah.
Yep.
So which it is astounding how many people will stay out there. Charger. Well, maybe that's why Melvin Gordon doesn't want to stay there, because sounds like he's on his way out after this year. So,
Not sure that's even his choice.
no, I don't
he
think
wanted
it
to
is.
stay
Yeah.
long-term deal, and he just said, nah.
Yeah.
Actually, just as
Train, can we get a hand check just to make sure they got Russell Wilson on TV right now? So I just want to make sure you're not jerking off to him, throwing tutters.
Just make sure if we see his vinegar strokes live on Skype.
No, going back to
You guys
Jalen
are
Ramsey
gross.
though, guys that don't want to play are just a cancer to a team, and he wanted to get out of Jacksonville, so I think
It
it was
is-
the right thing.
It is funny that his back injury just miraculously got better the second he went to LA. It must be that desert heat. The humidity in Jacksonville makes the muscles a little more tight. That's just straight desert heat, loosens them up a little bit. Yeah, I get it.
Given the situation, though, I mean that Jacksonville was in, I think they come out of that pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it seems like the Rams are panicking right now.
They're all in.
Are they third in the division? Behind Seattle and San Francisco? I think they are.
Yep.
So yeah, they might not make the playoffs. But that's the NFL, man.
Bleacher Report's Matt Miller. He's a NFL draft expert for them. Listed 6 wide receivers in the first round in the 2020 draft. Tyler Johnson being one of them. Would you say that's
Busch Light.
Or
Busch League.
I'm going to abstain from this due to my close relationship with the team.
Because you're a fluffer? Is that why?
Nope. Great story out of North Minneapolis.
I think that's Busch Light. I think he's quarterbacks can make the receivers, vice versa. He's played with how many, Dave? 3, 4?
Offensive coordinators or quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks and offensive coordinators. Give me quarterbacks first.
Demon Croft.
Yep.
Mitch Leidner. Zach Anixted, Tanner Morgan, Seth Green.
Okay.
Connor Rhoda?
Yeah, Connor Rhoda.
Connor Rhoda. Okay. So it's 6 quarterbacks, and he still put up 1,000-yard seasons?
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken? Okay. So he's well deserving of that. I think if he would play with one quarterback, two or three each season, or not each season, but each year he's consistently got one quarterback, through his career. I think maybe that might be a little, but he's put up those numbers with all those different quarterbacks and those different offensive coordinators. So, yeah, I think that's well deserving.
My true draft analysis on him, though, is he's not fast enough to be like an outside wide receiver. He's got to be a slot guy. He runs okay routes, but they're not super great.
He's going to be Cooper Kupp. I mean, that's his role. He's a slot guy running the slant pattern 25 times a game.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's the second coming of Calvin Johnson by any means.
I heard what you said.
I'm pretty sure it did. I think he warrants a first-round, second-round grade, though. That all depends on who's all coming out, too, and what the needs of everybody is. I mean, Josh, there was a chance that no running back was going to be drafted in the first round last year. Just so happened the Raiders had those draft picks. So it's all on need and how deep the draft is on certain positions. So
yeah, they might have Calvin Johnson on the other side. Did you see the Bateman catch this week?
Oh shit!
No, missed it. I was too busy rewatching the Brandon Smith catch over the Penn State defender because that was fucking sick.
Cool story, Hansel.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, actually, Derek, I think you got to see Brandon Smith do that last year too to somebody. Can't remember who it was at TCF, but yeah, he's pretty freaking good. If only his quarterback could consistently give it to him.
That's what Jed says too.
That's what she said.
Dave, I consistently give it to her all the time. It just so happens that's 2-yard gains every single time. And that's a 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue has placed a ban on sports betting for their student populations. That's a good use of the Purdue administration's time.
Busch Light.
Or
Busch League.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, Busch League, big time.
Busch League. Let them bet. They can go to strip joints. Let them bet. Who gives a rat's ass?
Smoking, drinking.
Yeah, they can go to the hot dog
Sports
buffet at the VU.
I mean,
Let
they
them
can fucking
bet.
put their money on craps. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Or any other table game, as long as it's on a river.
Yeah.
Last one.
Hold on. How do they administer that?
I don't know if you can.
I think you just put it in the guidelines, and then if someone gets caught, then they get
What a
punished
fucking
for it.
waste
But
of time. How much money?
Somebody
these
puts it on
people-
social media like an
Jesus.
idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Overregulation is a theme to the next one as well. Forager Brewing out of Rochester, Minnesota, makes great beers. But they are a brew pub, so they cannot distribute in the state of Minnesota. Forager
I
is
know where you're going with this.
finding a workaround for this problem. They're building a production brewery in Madison, Wisconsin. Boys, do you think Minnesota forcing a great business who wants to grow to go to a state neighboring them is
Busch Light.
or
Busch League.
Smart on their part, especially when great breweries such as Castle Danger just had to close down their growler system because they went over the 20,000 barrel mark this last year. I think it's stupid, and I think that places like that, they need to raise the barrelage because it's not fair at all that you're in the same game as Summit and Shells and some of those bigger ones. So I think it's stupid on Minnesota's part, and then now they're in Wisconsin, making Wisconsin. Yeah,
those are the opinions of John Thompson and John Thompson only, not Burnix Distributing.
Yes, they are my opinions. They are my opinions. I think it's dumb.
I think there is a happy medium that we can find between the distributing and the self sales. It's tough. You ready to ding the bell? I was sitting up in the suite with the owner of
Good for you.
the owner of Fulton yesterday.
Ding.
Also, Johnny, great guy, and he said it's a real struggle. You know, they've run into that in the past, and there's not much you can do, and then you're handcuffed. But they've also taken bad gambles of going down to Florida and doing the Southeast tour too. So
You can take the guy out of the brewery, Dave, but you can never take the brewery out of the guy. It doesn't matter where I work. I'll always be for the brewery.
I think for the state of Minnesota, it depends on where your bread is buttered more. Who gives a shit about giving the people the beer they want if they're getting a bunch of money from the major distributors and Anheuser-Busch and Miller Brewing and all them? So
the state's not getting that money.
Just, you know what?
It's just getting lobbied.
You know why? Yes.
Yeah.
You know why those whoever
the lawmakers are getting the money.
Yeah, well, whoever, whatever it is, you know what I mean? That's why it isn't happening. So, I mean, it's stupid. It isn't about what's, what the market wants or what the people want. It's about who has the most money, which is dumb.
Move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Let's talk a little fantasy football. Week 5 in the books. We are in week 6 is in the books. We are in week 7 now.
We're halfway done.
Train, you got a standings check here. What's happening in Busch League fantasy football?
Sure. So winners last week: Phil, Hartman, Jeff, Max, Derek, and Lang also happened to make up the top 6 seeds in the standings. Top 6 seeds are all winners. The bottom 6 seeds are all losers. We got Phil, Hartman, and Jeff, and Max all sitting at 5-1. We've got a pretty large separation of points scored between those top 3 and the rest of the league. So you got Phil 1, Hartman 2, Jeff 3. Max, Derek, and Lang rounding things out. Max is leading a pretty poor division with myself and Grieve. And then your wild card teams are Hartman and Lang. Trevor Superior, Dave Pikus, and Tim Grieve with 2 wins each. Just 1 game out, and very much in shouting distance with an opportunity to move up there this week if they have a good week. Well, probably not Grieve, but and then John, myself, and Drew vote. Drew coming off of back-to-back 50-point weeks, all sitting at 1-5.
So Drew from Rochester, or Hermantown, whatever you want to say, has been looking to make a trade. And I've talked to a few people who he's been trying to make trades with, and the response has all been the same. They don't want to trade him because he doesn't have any value on his team.
Total
awesome.
and utter dumpster fire.
Yep.
The last 2 weeks, and man,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to last week. There was no reason, other than Hartman shits out purple, to leave in Stephon Diggs after the weeks that he's had.
He didn't have anybody else to play, was the thing. I mean, did you see?
Anybody.
Like
he could
no,
have
but
picked up. Could have worked on picking somebody up for weeks.
there's no waiver wire guy that you would play that you'd say is a better option than Diggs.
Oh, Jeff would argue differently.
Sometimes you got to wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. And in his case, he wished, and that son of a bitch profited big time. Because but good for him. Good. I mean, some people got the horseshoe up their ass. Other people don't, like me and Derek and Dave and Matt. Matt is probably the worst out of all of us.
Sorry.
Very true.
I just
All right.
got pulled away. What I miss?
Looking at the standings, John.
Yeah.
You could, if you string a couple wins together, you have the points scored.
I know, I do. I've faced. Well, I mean, it is. I'm not gonna go down that road. I'm not bitter whatsoever.
No,
Nope.
definitely.
Nope. Matt, we were just saying how Adam has a horseshoe up his ass because he left Diggs in last week, which, given his previous history of this season, hasn't worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, some people just have a horseshoe up their ass, and then some people don't, like Derek and Dave and myself, and especially Matt with trading for or having Patrick Mahomes and making all these trades to get your team better, and then Patrick Mahomes gets hurt out of nowhere.
Worst fantasy bullshit season I've ever experienced in my life. I gotta have a game focused around the ineptitude of wide receivers for next week. There's a little preview.
Ooh, I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of interested to see how things will change with people's teams and like people they've been hanging on to. Like Grieve, he's got AJ Green and Kareem Hunt sitting on the bench. Hunt is going to be a backup, but AJ Green has been rumored to be getting traded, so it'll just be interesting to see who gets traded and how that affects some teams.
Mm-hmm. Well, how about Kamara being the biggest draft bust of
that too?
He's been a big
Dave,
and now
in my
this week.
in my preview or my year awards
Review?
or whatever. Yeah.
Mid-season awards, you want to call them?
Mid-season, yeah, mid-season awards. That was next on the biggest bust list was Kamara, and it probably should have even been above Montgomery just because Kamara costs so much money to get.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that hurts, Dave. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been a bad one.
It's all right. I'm gonna whoop that ass against you this week. It's like a bye anyway. So.
All right. Okay.
You
Well,
interested in giving up on Kamara?
Nope.
no, Dave, that's not how Dave rolls.
Been telling that to Jeff for about 7 weeks, 8 weeks.
Think about this. Think about this. For how many years Dave has always had 2 quarterbacks, always. Now 3, out of nowhere.
Have you looked? Don't have 3 anymore.
No, that's okay. I haven't looked, but this is what I'm getting at: is he will hang on to those sons of bitches like a jaguar hunting and climbing up a tree. He's got his claws dug in. It has to be the best deal in the world for him to let one of them go. And I think that's the same thing for Kamara. You have to offer him all the king's gold, basically.
You make the trade, and then the guy's gonna go off. We all know it's gonna happen. So if he can't help, if he's not gonna help you, he's gonna hurt you. So keep him on the bench. Tell him to shut up.
What are you doing, Daddy?
Hi, Clara.
Hi, Clara.
Hi, Clara.
Say hi.
Hi.
You guys can't see that, but it's super cute.
I'm sure.
She's waving.
Let's talk a little week 7. I know we have the week started already, but we have some big matchups in terms of the standings and where the weekend kind of goes from here.
Yeah, probably the biggest of which is the number one power seeded Phil Bastron taking on Derek Hartman. Phil leads 7-5 all time and 5-2 in the 12-team era.
Yeah, it hasn't been good against Phil.
No.
But I think. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, neither one of us had anybody play on Thursday, so we're at 0-0 right now. I am a 7-point favorite.
Interesting.
Who are you taking, Derek?
You know, I just picked up the New York Jets defense, and I'm a little nervous this week, them playing New England. But the road from here on out, they have Jacksonville, Miami, the Giants, the Redskins, the Raiders, the Bengals, the Dolphins again.
I like that.
I feel good about that. I don't know. It really depends on which of my guys decides that this is the week to go off. Hopefully, it's one of them that's in the starting lineup. I will bet myself.
We're doing picks.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Everybody go out. I haven't looked at anything yet, so talk amongst yourselves.
All right. Well, I'm just going to continue on with that shit-ass weekend for those Tommies. I think Derek, by picking up the Jets defense, got the money man, Blake Cashman. I'm also a money man banker, so I'm going Derek.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, Phil's in a tough bye week with Connor and Chubb both on bye. I think I gotta go Derek as well.
Thank you.
So, I'll just go Derek. Yeah, whatever.
Confidence is high. Repeat, confidence is high.
Our second game is a top versus bottom matchup. The number 2 seed Adam Hartman takes on Drew Vogt. Drew
Matt Top Grieve Bottom? No?
Didn't you change that? Wasn't it something different last year?
It was. Yeah, you were out of it. It's changed. It was funny. It's not funny anymore.
All right.
It's pretty funny.
It is funny, but when I need to change things up.
Feels like a Matt Top, Grieve Bottom, Jeff Middle.
Jeff Middle. No, Jeff Creeping. No.
Double 69.
If I could change it to Jeff beating off in the corner, that's what I would change it
to. Hartman leads the series 13-7 all time, 4-1 in the 12-team era.
I do not have to put a lot of thought into this one.
No.
The dumpster fire has no chance.
I mean, I think the real question is, does he get over like 65 points?
Yep.
That's probably a good over-under.
Hartman's got Godwin on bye, but as you guys mentioned, he's only projected for 97 points right now, but still, he's only going to need about 70. So, take Hartman.
I'll take Adam as well. Never go against the evil empire.
And somebody's one-loss season is going to turn into 2. Jeff, our third seed, is taking on Max. Both teams 5-1, 2-2 in the all-time matchup. 2-3. Oh no, sorry. 2-3 all-time and in the 12-team era. Max leading that series.
Okay.
Max got 14.7 out of Royce Freeman, which I think is a gift.
Yeah.
I still think that overall Jeff's team is a little bit better. He did pick up the Tay train, I see, and is starting him today. I'm going to go with Jeff.
I like Jeff also. Christian McCaffrey on bye. So that's a big chink in the armor for Max this week. I'll take Jeff.
I don't think Jeff has scored under 100 points yet this year, Matt. Can you verify that, or if it has, he hasn't?
No,
he
hasn't. Yeah, his low is 104.
Yep, and Max has twice. I know that for a fact, because once was against me, and
in fact.
Yep. So I don't see Jeff slowing down. He pretty much is at full strength. There's no Christian McCaffrey to save Max this week, so I'm going Jeff.
You know, Matt, you didn't mention and leave a disclaimer that Jeff's starting quarterback is the guy you jerk off to most days. That being said, I think Kirk's going to have a tough time in Detroit today, so I got to go Jeff as well.
I think that Matt should change his team name to the Mankato Triangle, just for the position that Jeff, and Grieve prefer when they're with each other. I think that might be a good team name for next year.
With Brett Kavanaugh as the picture.
Hilarious.
Devil's Triangle.
Our next matchup, the number 6 seed, Tim Lang, taking on yours truly, Matt Train, in a battle of original teams, 13-13 all time. And I lead the series 5-2 in the 12-team era.
Obviously, Mahomes goes out Thursday night. That also hurt Tim Lang. He has Kelsey, and Kelsey got very little action. After that happened, as they basically shut her down. And
Derek hates a little action. Hates it. That wasn't funny. Just
7.4
rewind.
7.4 for Kelsey, 7.2 for Mahomes. On Train's team, he needs Mahomes to score 25 to win. And so I'm going to go Tim Lang here.
Well, I'm getting Saquon Barkley back, so that's like I'm just keeping my fingers crossed on that one that he goes off for about 40. Outside of that, I think I'm probably going to struggle. But Kerryon Johnson, Lang's got Kerryon Johnson against the Vikings. Don't love that. Breed is a decent matchup, but Michael Thomas against Chicago, don't love that. Will Fuller only plays one game the entire year. So I'm going to go with myself. I think I got a shot.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I am going to go with Tim Lang.
I also am going to go with Tim Lang.
Number 7 seed, first guy on the outside, Trevor Superior taking on Tim Grieve. Trevor Superior leads the series 6-4 and 4-3 in the 12-team era.
Grieve got 14.9 out of Tyreek Hill. I think I like Trevor in this matchup. Dallas has not been good lately, so Carson Wentz can do his thing. Todd Gurley, I think, is going to get some carries this week. And then I got Trevor.
A lot of points projected in this game. 114 for Trev and 108 for Grieve.
For two teams that aren't very good.
Yeah, yeah. Good matchups across the board. Leonard Fournette seems like he's kind of come back to life, and he faces a crappy Cincinnati defense. Grieve is starting Frank Gore. Holy cow.
Holy cow.
That should maybe help your...
yeah.
He's still going to pick Grieve. I know he is.
No, I'm not. I'm going Trevor.
That Mankato triangle.
I'm going Trevor.
Yeah, that Mankato triangle.
It's kind of funny. Agree with Derek. Carson Wentz coming off the kind of poor week last week. I think they're going to really try to put the offense gas pedal down. Flip side, their defense showed that they can be kind of susceptible. So I think Zeke's going to have a good day. All the way around the horn. Going to be great. Going soup.
We had dinner with them last week, so it would be rude for me not to pick them. So the Superiors beating the Dolls.
All right, and our number 8 seed in the Battle of the Busch League hosts, two original franchises. Dave Pikus taking on John Thompson. 10-10 is the head-to-head matchup all time, and John leads it in the 12-team era, 2-1 is all.
This is my bye week, plus Kamara's out, so we got a ragtag bunch of people out there. Still going to take myself. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big day in Oakland. I think that the New Orleans defense is going to be kind of soft and easy, and with Mitch Trubisky coming back, I think Tariq Cohen's going to have a few extra carries.
Tariq Cohen, Trey Burton, D.D. Westbrook, Adrian Peterson. No.
Yeah, baby.
No, I got pre-snap adjustment this week.
This 2015, this would have been an amazing lineup.
Yeah. I'm going John as well. You look at the line right now, and John's favored by about 23. If my New London Mankato math serves me, so I'm gonna take John.
I think I kind of have to pick myself. It says it's a 61% probability, so we'll go with that. That math's good.
61% of the time works every time?
Yep.
That's it.
It is 11:50, meaning that we have to make your starts and who to start real quick here. So I have one for you guys. I have another league. I also have Kamara in that league, so I have felt Dave's pain all season. I did pick up Latavius, though, unlike Dave. And I also have Terry McLaurin. I need to start one of those two in my flex position. Who do you guys got?
Is that PPR?
I would not. Yeah.
It is full point PPR.
I'm going with.
They face a pretty tough 49ers defense. I would say I would go with the Tay train.
Dave, tiebreaker.
I would go Tay Train also.
We'll make
I
that
know that's
switch
what you didn't
now.
want to hear.
All right,
There is
Latavius is in the starting lineup.
Okay. I have one for you. Trying to decide Matt Ryan at home against can't think of who they play. L.A. Rams or Tom Brady on the road against the New York Jets.
You ever had the tacos in LA?
L.A. Have you ever been to L.A.? No, buddy. Else but Dave and I. You guys should really watch Letterkenny. Change your life.
Never heard of it.
Yep.
It's on Hulu, Matt. Get on it.
I don't have Hulu.
Yeah. I think you filled us in one week, John. I just haven't got to it.
Yeah. Matt, you don't have Hulu?
No Hulu.
Really?
Netflix and Amazon.
Okay.
Tom Brady played the Jets earlier this season. He had 306 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. As much as I want the Jets defense to take care of things, I probably would start Brady in that.
At New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else have a start or sit question?
Surprised Superfan Trav doesn't have one because his team is awful this year. Huh. Can't wait to have him tell you about it.
Oh, nope. Sorry, got one. Sleeping at the wheel here. Hawkinson or Jimmy Graham?
Boy. Jimmy Graham looks like he forgot how to play football. It's hard for me to believe that he was the best tight end in the NFL for 3-4 years.
Yeah, it really felt like he was going to take off being paired up with Rodgers, and it just has not happened.
Yeah,
well, even with Russell Wilson, he's had 3 of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's only been able to make it work once.
Yeah, so for that reason, Darren Waller killed the Vikings. Hawkinson has some of those same skills. I'd take my chances on Hawkinson.
Coach's poll is out, and Minnesota's number 16.
Woo! Wow, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Yep.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good. More for me and you. Man, you are one pathetic loser. You're a moron. Who is this imbecile? I wish I knew.
Our moron of the week this week, NFL referees.
Jeez.
Wow.
Somebody
Shots
had to
fired.
say it. Everybody watched that Monday night game, and if you didn't, you saw the highlights on Twitter. There were no hands near the face.
No.
There was a personal foul called for a guy going for an interception. There was a blatant pass interference call missed. The Packers benefit from officiating more than any NFL team. You just can't deny the facts.
Do you have the facts? Just out of curiosity.
I don't have it written down.
Ah, jeez.
No, they are way out in front though as far as yards gained by officiating.
Okay.
You would think that with the technology that we have, the camera angles, and as much money and resources as the NFL has, you'd think that it would be possible to just blow the goddamn thing up, have some freaking guy sitting in a booth watching every inch of the field, and make calls based on instant replay where they have time to see it not in real time and make a judgment call. You'd think that would be possible. It would be a huge undertaking, but man, if anybody has the money, it's the NFL.
Yeah,
I think they need to go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's a matter of time before some changes happen. We're not going to have old white guys running in, looking at a pile, and try to spot the football for very much longer. GPS chips and that stuff have to happen. If tennis instant replays can happen in 1 second, I think NFL instant replays, when we're talking about did he cross the goal line? They don't need to take that long.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard.
I think they also need to. I mean, they're micromanaging the referees so much that maybe it's another reason why they're throwing the flag so much. Derek, you probably don't have any issue with this, but someone's pressuring you to at work to do something. You need to get this done by this time. You're more likely to make mistakes, kind of deal. So.
For sure, it's a more difficult situation with these guys.
So and you're being micromanaged. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this better?
Yeah, everybody sees everything in ultra slow motion, and that's tough. But that's why you got to change the system, in my opinion.
Yep.
And the answer is not throwing a goddamn hanky on the field, and then stopping the game, bringing the guy out there with the little thing to look into. That is not the answer.
6-inch monitor.
Yeah, be smarter than that. Use your considerable resources. Come on.
I think relatively soon we'll have an eye in the sky, kind of like what you were talking about, Train, where he's kind of weighing in on every play and just radioing down to him and saying, "No, you really fucked that one up.
Pick it up, or throw it, or not throw it if it's already thrown. Just leave it, or something of that nature."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else he can do anymore, because it's just getting so out of hand. You can't take replay away, because if the pass has shown anything, it will, I think, hurt the game, especially when it's like first down calls, touchdown calls, fumble out of the end zone, stuff of that nature. You need replay for, because it just sways the game so much, and you want to try to get everything right. So I don't think replay should go away, but they need to do something different, something to help. And with that moving forward, it's only a matter of time before the electronics, what do you want to call it? Balls and strikes, too.
Robot ump.
Yep. So.
Yep. Has to happen.
Anyway, I digress.
All right, boys.
Are we done?
Game time.
I'm getting bored.
Mm-hmm.
Dave's bored. He hasn't said a thing in like 15 minutes.
I was ordering Pizza Hut. Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
I think he was probably just staring at the Gophers ranking and just
green olive.
long beating
I saw
it.
some hand moves down there.
Yeah, long beating it.
Well, I was to your guys' terrible calls, but that's fine.
Oh.
All right.
Woo!
We'll see you this week, Wednesday.
I hope your pizza's terrible.
I hope you suck again.